Welcome to the Green Room on Casting Workbook. I'm Natasha Gargiulo, and Scream 6 slashes its way into the theaters this weekend. So what's in store for the actors of this long-running horror series? What we know is that Montreal dubs for New York City, and the survivors of Ghostface are trying to start anew in a new city, or so they think. Courtney Cox, Jenna Ortega, and Hayden Panettiere are back to talk about Scream.
I loved it from the second I read it. First of all, I was just so happy that I survived Scream 5. The writers are incredible, and it's so scary, and I was so excited that Gale Weathers was back in it.
The last Scream that we did was probably the greatest time I've ever had on a set. Just truly the most wonderful, sweetest cast, crew. So I think that anytime you get to work with people that you love, you're very, very lucky. I feel very, very fortunate. But then two, it's I came into this job knowing it was just going to be a good time, and it wasn't going to feel like work.
One of the things that I think Kevin Williamson and, of course, Wes Craven brought to this franchise, and what they did was they created a horror film that, besides the the meta and going and telling us what we shouldn't do in a horror film, and then we do it, everything was played realistically. So it's not campy. While it's really funny, it's played seriously. So I just think what they did with the comedy and then the horror, but you actually are invested in the characters.
Well, I'll add to that in the way that these directors are bringing more, more interesting emotional life to these characters. So obviously, so it means more when they're attacked or in trouble, or brutally hacked up into bits, whichever scene you're referring to.
These films to me are so frightening and gory in a good way. It's so realistic, the way they do the special effects and the stabbings, but I mean, I think that people are going to go nuts. It's so much fun, and to see this with an audience and the build and the excitement and the laughter.
Courtney's just so talented and funny and fun. She brings all of those elements to the character, so I can only imagine. I mean, she puts her whole self into it.
The starting point for each of these characters, and all the returning actors, Melissa and Jenna and Mason and Jasmine, are incredible in terms of that. And they have a whole movie's worth of character that they build on in this one. So it's amazing to be a part of that.
The incredible thing about what they're doing with this story is, it's kind of insane. I mean, they've people of color as the leads, people of color who are surviving, an openly queer woman of color surviving and becoming this staple in the franchise. So important, not only for people watching, but then also just for accuracy of the time and making the film a bit more relatable.
They just ran with it and made it up to date, more frightening. Everything that Wes would have done, wanted to have done, and the guys did it.